And I'm going to start by drawing a circle by tracing around a CD. I find it gives me a fantastic shape and size. We're working on A4. Now for those of you from, I guess, the more Wiccan paths or nature-based traditions, you're going to recognise this circle. And you're also going to recognise some of the colours that I'm going to start using. Now for the first one I should be using a yellow marker. This particular one doesn't show up. This orange one, which I decided to try, also doesn't show up too well. But this particular orange marker does, even though I should be using yellow. The first rule, Noscere, or Eris, and it translates to English as to know, or to have knowledge, or to learn, or to gain knowledge, to put your knowledge into practice, to design things, to plan things out. Okay. It is to know things, it is to learn, it is to do your theory. Hate to tell you guys, for those who don't like theory and want to jump straight into the deep end, you've got to know your theory. Once you've learnt and got a good understanding of what it is you're doing, you can move on to the second rule. Velle, and I'm sure someone's going to correct me on my pronunciations here, otherwise known as bigness, and in English, to do. Now this implies a couple of things. Mostly it implies action. So once you've learnt what it is you're doing and planned it out, you can put it into action. And I further divide the action into create and destroy. Without this knowledge, your action will be undisciplined and will create a giant mess and possibly something you can't control. Whereas if you do the planning, design things the way you want them to run, then what you create or destroy will have a lot more form and function. The third rule, Audere, otherwise known as aqueous. I really need to get a better blue marker here, apologies for this. Audere, otherwise known as to will. One of the first catch cries I came across in Magick was good old Uncle Al, who said, love under will, love is the law, implying that will was outside of what was the law or what was lawful, and that will is in fact the higher intention or the purpose for which you are working, or the greater good, I guess, is how I translate it. But to me, these days, this rule, especially being associated with water, I associate it more with reflection and review. So after I've performed the action here, I then reflect on how would I do it better next time, what would I change, do I need to learn something else to make it better, or was it okay? Could I have just been more efficient? Could I have done it cheaper? Could I have used my time more effectively? Could I have delegated? Something to that effect. The last law, and this is the one that I've had a lot of trouble with, is Tacere, Audere. And you will notice that well, you probably won't notice anything because I haven't said anything yet about it. But tacere translates into English as silence, or as some texts have it, to be silent or to remain silent. Now I associate tacere with, I guess, time. So once I've reflected on something, I'll let it kick itself into motion, allow it time to gestate or to digest before I come back around to knowledge. So if I'm performing a ritual, I'm going to research the type of ritual I'm doing, the deities that I'm working with, and the correspondences I need, the timing, those sorts of things. I then perform the ritual. After the ritual, I'll sit back and reflect on it. I might blog about it, I might talk to someone about it, I might reflect with someone who knows what I'm talking about, I might even call my crone, and then I'll wait for the spell or the working to sort of kick into action, and then I'll come back around to, what have I learnt from it, apply that knowledge, and then work my way back around the circle. In practical terms, recently I've been learning welding. Now you might wonder what welding has to do with any of this, but before I was allowed anywhere near a welding machine, my instructors insisted that I had to go through the theory book and answer a bucket load of questions just to prove I knew how to turn the machine on, and that I knew my health and safety. I then applied my health and safety and performed a couple of basic welds over here. I was trying to create, but ended up destroying bucket loads of metal. I showed it what I'd done to my instructors. They showed me what was good and what was bad about my welds. I then took the time to sort of reflect further on it and just let the whole thing settle in over the period of a week until my next class. I went back in with some new knowledge, plus I'd done some research at home, looked up some stuff on the internet, did some more welds, some slightly harder ones, went back to my instructors, they told me what was good, what was bad, I reflected on that, and then went around the circle again.